Today, we're going to be talking about the resources available to you for finding relevant information for research. So, the question that we're going to be working with to navigate our way through this is how can we use the internet as a tool to start, support, or cement our learning? So, what you are going to find on this webpage are several resources that you can actually use at any time to help you actually go about your research. Now, there are some free resources provided here that you can use anytime, anywhere, whether or not you're logged into your student account. There are a few of our resources that we've invested in for you that you can use through us. And there are some resources that you can use to sort of help make sure that you are following expected research guidelines. So, first, just for making sure that we understand the resources to help you actually complete your research, over here at the top, you are going to find those sources. So, first, you have narrowing down your topic. Anytime you're asked to do research, especially when it's really open ended, sometimes it can be difficult to actually get down to something that's useful for you. So, first, this topic actually walks you through the process of selecting a research topic. If you like this webpage, it also actually walks through a couple of other processes that might help you with the act of actually doing research and reporting on research. Following that, this is a really good way to sort of jumpstart your research. Even though you may not be getting into like academic articles that might be more useful for what your final product may look like, this video will actually show you that there are shortcuts for using Google that can help you really refine the search results that you get. You should know that you get millions and millions of results when you Google something. So it pays to know how you can actually speed up the process of finding what you're actually looking for. And then after that, always important with research is actually giving citations. If you are writing in English, you will probably be using MLA. For sciences, you would use APA. And if you're writing for history, that's going to be the Chicago Manual. All of that is explained here on one super convenient source. All you got to do once you open this is go to the left-hand column, and you will be able to navigate to the source that you want, or the type of citation that you want to use. Down here on the left side in this column, we have some free resources for you that have a lot of really in-depth and quality sources, even though that they are free, which is really, really helpful to a lot of us and opens up the amount of things that we can actually do. So here you have the Internet History source books. This is stuff that's been confirmed to be public domain and copy permitted. In other words, as long as it's being used for an educational purpose, this is all stuff that you can use right from this website that's been translated into a digital source. Similar to that, over here is Project Gutenberg. This is a source that is working on compiling free whole text ebooks that are available to you because they have expired copyrights. So that means that anybody who has it can distribute it for free. So if you have sort of a good idea of what you're looking for, or maybe while you're Googling or looking around, you learn of a book, especially an older book that still may be useful to you, you can probably find that by starting with Project Gutenberg. Here is a directory of open access journals. This is actually kind of a starting point to jump off into other smaller databases. So from here, basically, you can find a journal that seems to be on a subject that's relevant to you, and that will have free access for you. Similarly, if you want to narrow it down to something very specific, this section right here will provide you with open access science articles. So it's more free stuff that would be really useful for science classes, or if in one of your English or history classes you are asked to discuss science, this is the database to work with. Um, After that, we have two sources here that are paid for by our district. They are probably going to be a good sort of stopping point. So after you've made use of these other sources, you may consider coming over here once you have a really strong idea of what you're looking for. So McInVIA is the district database. It can allow you to sort of access any database that we've invested in. So it will provide a lot of resources that you can use And it may be a good final step in your research. When you know exactly what you're looking for, you've got the search terms that you need, this is the place to go. If you're doing something that would require sort of some debate or maybe modern commentary on modern issues, that's what opposing viewpoints is here. It's really part of what our databases are, but it's important to emphasize this as sort of a way to find opinions about topics, whereas a lot of what is provided here is going to be much more academic in nature. And last, if you're still really struggling after looking at all of these, you can start with Google Scholar. One of the biggest issues with Google Scholar is that it doesn't always pull up resources or articles that you'll have access to. But because many of us are used to using Google, it's kind of a familiar way to start searching for resources. So it's linked here. You might combine that with the How to Google Like a Pro resource, and maybe you'll find some articles that you can then see if they appear in any of these other databases that we have provided for you. So the great thing about a lot of these resources is that even after you're not a student here, you'll be able to have access, especially to a lot of these free ones, Google Scholar and the How to Google Like a Pro. This stuff is all going to be stuff that you can use always and forever. So moving forward into college, or even just for your own interest in the case of like Project Gutenberg, or if you just have personal research interests, you'll have access to these things whenever you want them. But then, even just being able to navigate Google more efficiently is going to save you time, both for academic purposes and for personal purposes. So it really has a lot of application for you. So even though we normally talk about research in an academic sense, there's a lot of personal value for you as well. And so any sort of interest that you have, you now have a way to discover some new information and ideas about that. So again, all of these resources are available for you. A few of these will require your school login, but the rest of them are there for your use. And of course, just remember that this research is a lifelong skill. You're going to be using it now, you'll be using it in college, and you can always, always, always use it just to learn something that you want to know more about.